Ora, continuamos então aqui no Liberty Forum 2024, aqui em Londres. Agora cabe-me a mim então apresentar a próxima palestrante. Vem da Alemanha, não sei se está pronta. I don't know if she's ready, Vicky. E por isso mesmo eu terei que fazer aqui um compasso de espera. O tempo suficiente para eu confirmar o apelido dela, Vicky Richter. Exatamente, Vicky Richter. Vou-vos já dizer que a Vicky está a fazer um trabalho incrível, porque tal como eu que estou a fazer um documentário sobre Alexandre de Moraes, gravado em vários países do mundo, também a Vicky, que é uma jornalista alemã que vive nos Estados Unidos, ela está a fazer um documentário que se chama Fora Moraes, a luta do povo pela liberdade. E a Vicky está aqui também, novamente agora em Londres, para continuar o seu trabalho, para fazer entrevistas, e merece muito o nosso apoio e o nosso respeito, porque ela sozinha, Vicky, I'm telling that you are alone making a big documentary around the world about the situation of Brazil, so this is very important. Portanto, ela sozinha está a fazer também um documentário e é uma jornalista alemã, a journalist from Germany. Então, merece um grande aplauso, Vicky Richter.
Boa noite. I hope that was right. So that's one of the little words I know about Portuguese, so I am very sorry that I don't speak your language. But I fell in love with Brazil. So a little bit about me, thank you for this very nice introduction. I'm German, but I don't live anymore in Germany. I can kind of say I'm the German Alan dos Santos kind of thing. So, I was born 1987, so when you go back, that was still in the Cold War. So there was Germany parted in two parts, in the Western, in the free capitalism under France, USA, England and all that stuff, and then there was this little Eastern Germany under Russia, which was under the Soviet Union, which was communist dictatorship. I was born in Eastern Germany. And my first hero was my mother. She put me and my brother out of Eastern Germany while the war was still there, because she couldn't bear us to grow up in a socialistic dictatorship country. My father left '88 to create a life in Western Germany over Checkpoint Charlie, which was very dangerous and difficult in those days, because you maybe know about the famous... So my father left over a Checkpoint Charlie. You probably all know that it was very dangerous those days, where they shot people for just trying to get into freedom. So I was very thankful about my mother, who took the risk to go with us, two children, over Poland, Slovakia, Hungary, Austria, to end up in Western Germany. And she was a mother of two children, and she had to report every second day to the Stasi. And they threatened her to take us away as children. Okay, still writing. And this gave me the, kind of the gene of being a rebel fighter for freedom, because my mother showed me how to have courage, be brave, and stand up for what you think about, what you believe in. So, fast forward, I grew up in Western Germany and I joined the German military. I was a soldier of the Bundeswehr, the armed forces, and I was in special forces, PSYOPs. Yay. Yes, and why did I join the military? That's probably a big question what you all have, because I'm a little tiny person, not like everyone. Oh, shall I explain what PSYOP is?
Yes.
Okay, so PSYOP is psychological warfare. So I was in the unit what did propaganda for the military going into other countries to make them do stuff, put it there. And I served my country because I was very thankful to grow up in Western Germany. I'm a very patriotic person. You have to think about being a patriot in Germany is a crime. because we have this past in the 30s and 40s, what make us still be the enemy, be the bad person. How dare you to be proud to be German? That's a thing why I love Brazil and the USA and the UK, because they have patriotism. They are proud to have a flag out everywhere. In Germany, you don't really see flags. We had a chancellor who put the German flag away after she got re-elected. Our prime minister in UK or the president in the USA, like our chancellor, took or put the flag away. So I had to leave the military because of medical reasons. I couldn't fulfill my whole 12 years, but I served mostly 8.5 years. I was in the military. And after that, I made a break about doing journalism. But 2020, COVID hit. I think everyone can remember this crazy times, and I was hit by a invisible fist, because everything what happened in these days was what we did with other countries. Fear-mongering, putting out a narrative. Every media says the same thing. Like Fox News said the same thing like CNN. That never happens. Like, that's very rare. And what I learned in the military is when media just quotes and requotes and requotes and requotes the same wording, you have to think about there's maybe a message behind it. And the message was, how far can we go to put you, the people, down? And they went a lot. They went far. In Germany, they went very, very far. So, with me being a single mom, seeing what our government did with us, destroying our liberty, destroying our freedoms for virus, which killed the flu, very surprisingly, was kind of like, this is what we did kind of with another country. That doesn't look good, doesn't taste good. So what did I do? Me as a small little person, having journalist skills, okay, just go back in journalism and expose. Let the world see what's going on. So I traveled all Europe in 2020, went to every protest all over Europe. I was in Vienna, I was in Madrid, I was in Barcelona, I was in London, in Vienna, I said Vienna, I was in Bucharest, Budapest, I was in Warsaw, like I was like kind of everywhere. And seeing all those protests and publishing that on live streams on YouTube in English and German, that people all over the world see that's not only a little group is standing up, no, the whole European people want to live in freedom. I got on a list where they didn't like that in several governments, let's put it there. And even we had a lot of police violence in Germany because of that. They put us down. My own experience was I was punched against the wall while I was doing journalism. I got choked by the German police in public, and I was put in jail for 8 hours. I was not long there, but I can be like Johnny Cash, make a song about it. Maybe I get rich. And those are things when you think about, there is this idea, we call it freedom of speech. We call it freedom of expression. We have this in actually every constitution in the Western world has this little sentence. Everyone has the right to say what he thinks. But this little idea got sabotaged by this little word, political correctness. And political correctness was the start of a path of a downfall of our Western values and our Western culture. Because with political correctness, you create the path of silencing and of censorship and of hate speech, misinformation. You can declare today everything as misinformation, as hate speech. Everything what the government doesn't like to hear is hate speech, is misinformation, disinformation. And having this pressure of being politically correct doesn't commit hate speech. It's very hard to be an honest journalist nowadays, because every journalist who still has a job is not a journalist anymore, it's just a propaganda machinery employee. Because the media nowadays is just a propaganda machine of the government, of the narrative. So trying to expose all that, going through other countries, filming those protests, I got censored on YouTube. My 80,000 following channel was just deleted. I didn't get even an email. It was just gone. And then I had the best, like a present from life. I got an invitation to interview one of the most famous persons in Brazil. You probably can imagine who was that. Jair Bolsonaro.
Yeah.
So I was able to interview Jair Bolsonaro 2021 while he was president in Brasilia, talking about how media tries to brand him as this satanic, evil person who just wants to put dictatorship on it and use military forces to put you all down. I didn't see that. Like I was in Sao Paulo on the 7th of September 2021. I saw a lot of yellow, green flags. Like they were actually happy. Like it doesn't look like that this is a dictatorship. And then I was on the counter protest from him in Brasilia. That was maybe 50 people saying something against him, like the communists. And in this interview, I really had a good chance to get to know President Bolsonaro, and I can just say he is a really good person, and he is very honest what he thinks about. And okay, we're not perfect, nobody is perfect, but I think he did the best what he could in the time he was in office.
Vicky Bolsonarista.
Oh yeah, I come to that too. And after 2021, I went to the US. I got a journalist visa in Brazil for the US. That was very good for me and my family because we couldn't stay in Germany, because I got unofficially political persecuted, but it was a feeling like that. They tried to sue me for several stuff, which is insane, but this is how we do it right now in Germany and all over Europe. And I had the chance, or I have the chance now, being in the US, doing and working as a journalist. I exposed child sex trafficking at the Mexican border. I still expose corruption on both sides. Like the problem in America is we have an establishment in the Conservative Party, which is not really good. Probably the Americans doesn't like that to hear, but that's the truth. And I'm very happy that we have America first again with Trump. So now I'm a Trumpist. Now I come soon to be a Bolsonarista. So being in America, trying to do or doing journalism, I saw what happens in Brazil. And I met the Brazilian delegation on every CPAC events in Washington, D.C. I got a very close friend to Ellen dos Santos, and I really am moved by his story. Like, have to leave your family behind to come to America to try to have a safe life, hoping that your family can maybe come and join you there, is heartbreaking. And like, I had not quite the same situation, but I had to wait over half a year until my daughter could follow me to the US because the German government refused to give her a passport. Yeah. They wanted me to come to Germany to sign, to catch me there, but I said no, I stay in America, and I tried to sue them and try to publish the story. So I literally have the same feelings what Alan has, and that's why I think he's a very, very important figure in the whole story about Brazil and the fight for freedom of Brazil. 2000, so fast forward, because I don't want to steal so much of your time. And in 2024, the big bomb goes off the Twitter files, the Brazilian Twitter files. You've probably all heard about that. And Michael Schellenberger talked a lot about it, and I was the first German journalist who wrote an article about it to let it be published in Germany, that people in Germany see, hey, there is kind of what's going on in Brazil, like it's the blueprint of the communism overtake. And that I tried to explain that to the world, and then I thought, okay, what can I do best? I can make a documentary about it. So I traveled 2024 on the 7th of September back to Sao Paulo, and I joined the manifestation there. I was able to be on the truck with all the deputies and with Bolsonaro again, and I could interview them, and then I went to Brasilia. Well, a nice time was that. And I interviewed all the conservative deputies, and I also had the chance, and I'm very thankful for that, that the family from Cresao literally talked with me 20 minutes about his sacrifice, that the first person died in political prison. He was a political prisoner. He should not be in that prison. Nobody should be in that prison. And because I say a lot about journalists nowadays, that they are not really journalists because they only do propaganda. So I said, okay, if I gonna say all that, then maybe I should not do that too. So I sent emails to, in my opinion, very loud left-wing politicians. What I saw in the parliament when they were debating, they were the loudest ones, so I sent them all emails to give them the chance to explain why they are supporting Alexandre de Moraes and his unlawful or hobby laws, what he creates in the middle of the night probably, and then just publishes it the next day. So most of them they didn't answer, and then I tried to reach Alexandre de Moraes personally, because I thought, hey, he's the guy who does all that, so he maybe has an opinion about that. So I tried to call him from, that's actually a very funny thing, I tried to call him from an office of a deputy in Brasilia, in the Congress building. Do you know what happened? The number was blocked. So from the official office of a conservative deputy, you're not able to call the office of Alexandre de Moraes, a sitting Supreme Court judge. That's censorship right there. And so we were thinking, okay, what we can do, just use a private phone. So we used a private Brazilian phone, and hey, suddenly the telephone works. Someone called or answered the phone. And the secretary said, okay, you can write an email. Okay, so I wrote an email and I explained to Alexandre de Moraes why I'm here and what I'm doing here and what I want to do. And he didn't answer. He just sent me a Forum magazine journalist who sent me a message and why I think there is suppression of freedom of speech in Brazil. And then I just said, you should watch the documentary. And he didn't wait, obviously, and he wrote a smear campaign article about me. So I'm a Bolsonarista, I'm a Trumpist, I'm a QAnon, I'm a far-right extremist. Yeah, so that's from not even talking to me, just from me asking questions. And now you're probably asking why I'm doing a documentary about Brazil for not being Brazilian, not even speaking the language, which I'm trying hard to learn, I promise. No, but coming to your country now 3 times, having your passport. So de Moraes tried to seize my passport when I left Brazil afterwards for asking him for an interview, because he said I entered Brazil illegally, which is insane. You can't enter this country illegally when you come over plane. But seeing the suffering of the Brazilian people, which are mostly happy, and when you ask people about what do you think is Brazil, they're mostly gonna say, oh, they are having the Copacabana, they have salsa carnival, and there are all those happy memories, this happy culture, this loving people. Nobody would think about, hey, they get censored. There is no X. They're not allowed. They go to jail only for having a freaking bus ticket going to a city where the person lives. And I think this power or this love to the country, this patriotism, has to be supported, and that's why I want to do this documentary, to show the world what's going on in Brazil, to first of all send a memory to every political prisoner all over the world. It's not only Brazil. We have this in Britain. In Britain, we had Peter Lynch. He killed himself because he was a political prisoner, only for saying that the government is corrupt and the mass immigration is bad. He killed himself. So we have now 2 dead people because of an agenda which we should not have, for just being conservative. And I'm very conservative. And I think this documentary is my little piece in the puzzle to fight for the right cause, for the values of the conservative, of the values of Christianity, because this is what they want to take from us too. They want to destroy our families. They want to just bring this progressive ideology over us. We don't, what probably most of the people doesn't want to have, but we are the silent majority. And if we only stay silent, nobody will change something. So I made a promise to my daughter that I will do everything what I can to let her grow up in a free world, in a free country, because she deserves that. It's not her fault that she was born. There's never a fault to be born. But it's my duty as a mother to make it happen that she has the right to grow up in a free country. And then we show the little trailer, I guess. Okay. Muito obrigada.